Welcome back to the channel, everybody. This is John with SwingFit. Now, I know it's been a little while since we released any new content on the channel, but with the new year and the new direction in which we are wanting to take the channel, we believe it's going to be well worth the wait. Because you see, one of the main issues I had with the content we had been posting is that we were falling into the same trap as everyone else. That's simply just creating content, feeding the engine just for the sake of creating content, not really addressing a desire or need. So what you can expect moving forward is that we're gonna devote our channel to responding to your questions. And unlike some of the other YouTube channels, you're not gonna get the simple one-liner. We're gonna do a whole video on that very question or topic. So this way, we're gonna take you behind the scenes and help you understand all the subtleties and nuances that goes along with taking our customers through the fitting process. So without further delay, let's jump into the very first question. Bob from North Carolina asked the following question. How important is swing weight in a golf club? And if it is important and can help me play better, how do I know if my swing weight is too heavy or too light? Well, Bob, this is a very good question, and I will go as far to say that swing weight is the most overlooked fitting variable in the entire club fitting process. And I am really surprised that more club fitters don't take the time at the end of the fitting session to find out what somebody's ideal swing weight is. But before getting into the weeds and helping you understand how to know what's too heavy or too light, let's do a little quick recap of what swing weight actually is. Swing weight is nothing more than a measurement to help a club fitter understand how heavy a golf club is in correlation to where the mass is distributed. And I'll use a device like this in order to help me determine how heavy a golf club is at the head end versus the grip end. Then good news is every single golf club will have a swing weight designation, and it's going to come in the form of as a letter and number. Now, the general rule of thumb and the industry standard for most of the golf clubs that's built and sold off the shelf is a D2 swing weight. So it doesn't matter if it's a driver, fairway wood, hybrids, irons, wedges. D2 is usually the cookie cutter industry standard. So that's the starting point, and then from there we can go heavier or lighter. The larger the letter, D, E, F, the heavier the swing weight. Now if you happen to go down a full letter, then that means the swing weight's going to get a little lighter. Now as a quick disclaimer, swing weight really doesn't care about the total weight of the golf club. So it really doesn't matter if you have a 130 gram shaft or a 60 gram shaft. Swing weight just cares where the mass is distributed. And although the total weight of a golf club can affect somebody's ability to play better golf, we'll just leave that topic for another day. So as you can see, if we're really only concerned about the distribution of the weight in the golf club, and if we understand that one of the roles of swing weight is to help you consistently and repeatedly square the club face up, this would only mean that if your swing weight is a little too heavy or too light, it could potentially wreak havoc on your golf game, especially if you find inconsistent swing weights throughout your entire set. As an example, if you have a 6-iron that's checking in at, say, D5, D6, and your 7-iron is D2, D3, I can promise you whenever you make that transition from 6-iron to 7-iron, you are going to struggle. So if you ever find yourselves, struggling with hitting a consistent shot, swing weight could be a culprit. So now that we got that squared away, let's take a look at what might happen and what you might see on a golf course if your swing weight is a little too light. And here, there's no question, the number one thing we will see in a fitting session, as well as what you might see in the real world, is the dreaded two-way miss. Sometimes you can miss it right, sometimes you can miss it left, and others, you can flush it right down the middle and it feels great. And it's those great shots that challenges the technique opposed to questioning the golf club. Because you say,
well, I know I have it in me to hit a great shot.
But the explanation of why you are struggling to consistently release the golf club is you're trying to time it out and you're relying too much on your technique of when to release the golf club. Sometimes you square it up, sometimes you snap hook it, and others you leave the face wide open. So guys, if you find yourself struggling with the military miss or are the golf club that just appears to have a mind of its own, then your swing weight could be a little too light. So now let's take a look at an example of what happens when you're playing with a golf club that has too heavy of a swing weight. And here, I'm going to break this down into two groups because you're likely going to see one of these two misses. And the miss that you're not going to see is the first miss we talked about, which is the one right, one left type of miss. You're either going to be in the group that's always missing to the left or always missing to the right. So I want to take a second to explain why you might see or fall into one of these two groups. With too heavy of a head weight, this could present a challenge of squaring that club face up, and the reason you may miss to the right is because the face is staying open longer and you're simply blocking or pushing your shot. So if you see this dreaded miss to the right where it starts right and just pushes to the right, not a slice, then this could be an indicator that your swing weight is a little too heavy. And going with a little lighter swing weight can help you speed up that face rotation. Now, on the other hand, this doesn't mean that you can't snap hook your shots if the swing weight is too heavy, because you can, but it's not going to be because you're closing the face faster as a result of the heavier swing weight. You're going to be closing the face faster as a result of the turf interaction with that heel. So as I'm coming down into the turf, that heel is going to come into the contact with the ground first, and that's going to slam that toe shut. And this can easily be confirmed by verifying the strike point. So if all of a sudden you start to see your misses go out towards the toe and everything's snap hooking left, then once again, I guarantee your swing weight is a little too heavy. If you suspect that swing weight might be impacting your golf game, then I would highly suggest seeking out the guidance from a reputable club fitter. So before you go cutting off your grips, adding heavier grips or counterweights, or better yet, adding some high density lead tape to bring up that swing weight, or shoving some tungsten powder down the shaft, these are all proven methods to affect swing weight. But at least this way, if you go to a club fitter, he's going to be able to measure that as we are stepping through that process. So as we increase the swing weight or take it off, we can quantify and measure the results on the launch monitor to ensure that the final resting swing weight is the one that did the best. So there you have it. We truly hope you found value with the information we presented today. And if nothing else, we at least now hope you have a little better understanding of what swing weight is and how it can potentially impact your golf game. So should you have any questions, or if you would like to leave any comments about today's video, then do us a favor. Just leave them in the remarks below. And if you did find value, then do us a favor by pressing that thumbs up and sharing this with as many friends as you like. Oh, I almost forgot. If you would like to have your club fitting question featured in an upcoming video, then here's how you do so. Simply click the email link in the description below, fill out our short survey. We just need a couple pieces of information to ensure we know who we're communicating with, and if we select your question, we will let you know in advance so that way you can be prepared that a video is coming. So guys, we thank you for your continued support, and until next time, thanks for watching.